I opened a client's kitchen cupboard last month and counted 23 supplement bottles. 23. He was spending over £600 a month. When I asked him which ones were based on his blood work, he went quiet. Not a single one. Every bottle came from a podcast episode or an Instagram post. He had no protocol, no sequencing, no monitoring, and no idea whether any of it was doing anything at all. If that sounds familiar, this video is going to save you a significant amount of money and, more importantly, show you how to build a supplement protocol that actually works. Before we get into it, if you are serious about optimizing your health and longevity, hit subscribe. I publish new evidence-based longevity content every week. And if you want to know exactly where you stand right now across all 6 pillars of longevity, take the free Executive Longevity Scorecard. It takes 8 minutes, it is completely free, and it delivers a personalized PDF report. The link is in the description. Now let us get into supplements. Here is what most executives get wrong about supplementation. They treat it as the starting point. They hear a podcast guest talk about NMN or resveratrol or some exotic peptide, and they order it that evening. They skip the blood work, they skip the basics, they stack molecules on top of a broken foundation, and then wonder why they do not feel any different. This is the supplement equivalent of fitting a turbocharger to a car with a cracked engine block. You are not going to feel the boost because the underlying system cannot support it. I want to dismantle a belief that I see in almost every high-performing client who walks through my door. The belief is this: if I find the right supplement, it will fix the problem. It will not. And I'm not saying that because supplements are useless. Some of them are genuinely valuable. I am saying it because supplementation is layer 4 of a 4-layer system, and attempting layer 4 without solid layers 1, 2, and 3 is where the money gets wasted. Let me explain the 4 layers. Layer 1 is sleep optimization. This is the foundation upon which every other intervention depends. If your sleep is broken, your hormones are disrupted, your recovery is impaired, and your cognitive function is degraded, no supplement compensates for 5.5 hours of fragmented sleep. Layer 2 is nutrition, the dietary substrate that determines your metabolic health. You cannot out-supplement a diet built on ultra-processed food and erratic eating patterns. Layer 3 is exercise. This is the single most polypharmaceutical intervention available to any human being. A single bout of exercise activates hundreds of molecular pathways simultaneously. There is no pill on earth that does that. And layer 4, finally, is supplementation and targeted molecular support. It amplifies the benefits of layers 1 through 3, but without those layers in place, it is noise. Now, within layer 4, I use a tiered system with my clients. Think of it as an evidence pyramid. At the base, you have the supplements with the strongest human evidence, the best safety profiles, and the broadest applicability. As you move up the pyramid, the evidence gets thinner, the individual variability increases, and the need for monitoring becomes more important. This is where most people go wrong. They start at the top of the pyramid because that is where the excitement is, and they neglect the base because it feels boring. Here is tier 1, the foundation. These are the 5 supplements I recommend to almost every client, adjusted for their blood work. Number 1, omega-3 fatty acids, specifically 2 to 3 grams per day of combined EPA and DHA from a high-quality, third-party tested source. The evidence for cardiovascular protection, anti-inflammatory effects, and cognitive support is strong. Most executives I test have an omega-3 index below the optimal range of 8 to 12%. This is one of the few supplements where the population level data is robust and the individual benefit is measurable through a simple blood test. Number 2, vitamin D3 paired with vitamin K2. The majority of people living in the United Kingdom are deficient, particularly between October and April. I'm not talking about the borderline levels that your GP calls normal. I'm talking about optimizing to between 100 and 150 nanomoles per litre. Vitamin D influences immune function, bone density, mood, and gene expression. K2 ensures the calcium mobilized by D3 is directed to your bones and teeth rather than depositing in your arteries. Always test before dosing. I typically see clients needing somewhere between 2,000 and 5,000 international units per day, but the correct dose depends on your baseline level. Number 3, magnesium glycinate. This is the most commonly deficient mineral in the modern diet, and standard blood tests miss it because only about 1% of your total body magnesium circulates in the blood. The rest is inside your cells and bones. Glycinate is the preferred form because it has superior absorption and does not cause the gastrointestinal issues associated with cheaper forms like magnesium oxide. I recommend 300 to 400 milligrams in the evening. Most clients report improved sleep quality within the first week. That is not placebo. Magnesium activates the parasympathetic nervous system and supports the production of melatonin. Number 4, creatine monohydrate. Most people associate creatine with bodybuilders, which is precisely why executives overlook it. But the evidence for cognitive performance, particularly under conditions of sleep deprivation and mental fatigue, is compelling. There is also emerging data on neuroprotection. 5 grams per day. It is one of the most studied supplements in history. It is inexpensive and it is safe. If you are over 40 and not taking creatine, you are leaving cognitive and physical performance on the table. Number 5, a high-quality, bioavailable multivitamin, not the supermarket variety. A properly formulated multi that uses methylated B vitamins, chelated minerals, and active forms of each nutrient. Think of this as your nutritional insurance policy. Even with an excellent diet, modern farming practices, food transport, and storage mean that micronutrient gaps are common. A good multi closes those gaps without requiring you to take 12 separate bottles. That is your foundation. 5 supplements. For most of my clients, this costs between £60 and £90 a month, not $600. Now, Tier 2. These are the promising supplements where the evidence is building, but the individual response varies significantly. You should only move to Tier 2 once your Tier 1 foundation is solid and you have blood work confirming your basics are optimized. NAD plus precursors are the headline here, either NMN or NR. The science on NAD plus decline with age is compelling. This molecule is central to cellular energy production, DNA repair, and sirtuin activation. The question is not whether NAD plus matters, it clearly does. The question is whether oral supplementation meaningfully raises tissue levels in humans, and the long-term clinical trial data is still catching up with the mechanistic excitement. I use these with selected clients, typically at 500 milligrams per day with monitoring. CoQ10 or its reduced form, ubiquinol, belongs here too. It supports mitochondrial energy production and levels decline with age. If you are taking a statin, this becomes closer to essential because statins inhibit the same pathway your body uses to produce CoQ10 naturally. I would place this higher up the priority list for anyone on statin therapy. Then there are the cognitive enhancers, lion's mane mushroom for nerve growth factor support, L-theanine for focus calm without sedation, and phosphatidylserine for cortisol modulation. These are not miracle drugs, but in the right context, they make a meaningful difference. The key phrase is in the right context. That means testing, monitoring, and adjusting, not guessing. Tier 3 is the frontier. Resveratrol and pterostilbene, spermidine, PQQ, alpha-lipoic acid, berberine. These compounds have fascinating mechanisms and promising preclinical data, but the human evidence is limited, the dosing is uncertain, and the individual response is unpredictable. I am not dismissing them. Some of my most informed clients choose to include them as part of a carefully monitored protocol, but they do so with eyes open, understanding that they are running an N of 1 experiment, not following an established prescription. The rule I give every client is this: your supplement budget should be allocated proportionally to evidence quality, not proportionally to marketing excitement. Now, the supplements you should stop buying. If you are taking a supplement because someone on a podcast said it changed their life and you have no blood work to suggest you need it, stop. If you are taking a proprietary blend where the individual ingredient doses are hidden behind a label that says proprietary formula, stop. If you are taking an antioxidant megadose, particularly after exercise, you may actually be blunting the very adaptation you are trying to create. The reactive oxygen species generated during exercise are a signal. They tell your mitochondria to get stronger. Flooding your system with antioxidants immediately after training is like calling the fire brigade and then disconnecting the smoke alarm. And if you are spending £400 a month on Tier 3 supplements while sleeping 6 hours a night and skipping breakfast, you have the entire pyramid upside down. Flip it. Let me show you how to build this properly. Step 1, get comprehensive blood work. Not the basic panel your GP runs. I mean a full metabolic panel, inflammatory markers including HSCRP, a complete hormone panel, vitamin D, B12, folate, omega-3 index, and fasting insulin at minimum. Step 2, fix the deficiencies your blood work reveals. This is where your Tier 1 supplements come in. Step 3, optimize layers 1 through 3, sleep, nutrition, and exercise. These are free or low cost and have dramatically stronger evidence than any supplement. Step 4, once your foundation is solid and your blood work is optimized, then and only then consider adding Tier 2 supplements one at a time with 4 to 8 weeks between each addition, monitoring your response to each. This is the sequential introduction approach. It allows you to identify which interventions produce measurable benefit in your biology and which are doing nothing but lightening your wallet. The difference between a scattergun approach and a precision protocol is not which supplements you take. It is the order you build them in, the data you use to guide your decisions, and the discipline to test before you trust. If you want to know exactly where you stand right now, not just on supplements, but across all 6 pillars of longevity, take the free Executive Longevity Scorecard. It takes 8 minutes. It is completely free, and it delivers a personalized PDF report that maps your strengths and your gaps across metabolic health, exercise, sleep, stress management, supplementation, and medical optimization. The link is scorecard.genexira.com, and it is in the description below. If this was useful, subscribe. I will see you in the next one.